Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Tuesday, the 14th of January. Today we read Matthew chapter 14 with Robert Murray McShane, and in it the question of who Jesus actually is comes up. It begins as follows. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard the reports about Jesus, and he said to his attendants, "This is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead. That is why miraculous powers are at work in him." Now Herod had executed John, and now he hears these stories about Jesus, and he tries to make sense of what's going on. Clearly he felt guilty about what he'd done, but he recognized the supernatural nature of the stories about Jesus. And he tried to understand, who is this? How does this work? Why does he have these powers? And that was the conclusion he came to. He's John the Baptist come back to life. Matthew then takes us into the next story, which is Jesus, having heard that John has been executed, goes off to a quiet place. The crowds flock to him, and they end up with 5,000 men plus women plus children. And in verse 16, Jesus says to the disciples, we need to feed them. And they say, well, send them away. And he says, they do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. So here is Jesus saying to the disciples, we need to feed these people. And they say, we've only got this. They see how little they've got, and that it is completely inadequate for the task before them. But Jesus takes what they've got, blesses it, and they feed the 5,000, plus gather 12 basketfuls of broken pieces. So there's great abundance because of Jesus. They saw what they didn't have. They didn't see who they had, which was Jesus. The story continues that he sends them across the lake, and they get in their boats and start rowing. And early the next morning, after spending a night in prayer, Jesus comes walking out to them, walking on the water. And they are not sure. They think it's a ghost. They're not sure what to make of it. And Jesus eventually invites Peter to join him. And he gets out and starts walking to Jesus, sees the waves, panics, starts sinking. Jesus grabs him, rescues him. And they finally get into the boat, and the weather settles down. In verse 33, we're told, then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. And so through the chapter, we have this discovery of who Jesus is. And Herod says he's John the Baptist raised to life. The disciples not quite sure by the end of the chapter what they've seen Jesus do and their experience of him. They say, you are the Son of God. That is who you are. And we face the same question for ourselves. Who do we say Jesus is? What do we make of him? The stories we read, the picture that is painted of him in Scripture. Some people say, just another prophet. No, there's so much more than that. A good man and good leader, not so much. He was that, but that's an inadequate description. And finally, we have to come to the conclusion, he must be the Son of God. And then it's not just knowing that that's what he is. We've got to make him part of our lives as well and say, Jesus, I want you in my life. I want to be your disciple. I want to walk in your ways like the disciples did. I want to know and experience your power in my life, in my world, using me, working with me, shaping me, drawing me into your eternity. That's what he came for. That's his identity. We need to recognize it, accept it, and follow him in it. Be blessed.